Breaking news now. We interrupt programming to bring you this breaking news story. Look at this right here. A high-speed pursuit apparently here in the Griffith Park area.
Let's go up to Stu Mundel because he's overhead. Stu,
Yep.
we just saw that collision. Looked like 2 or 3 cars involved.
You know, you got to us right at the right time. We just got here to this pursuit, this vehicle. This is a heavy truck. This is a dually Ford pickup truck coming in pursuit. Now, that accident that you just saw, he basically went up the gore point here in Los Feliz, southbound 5. He was trying to work his way through that area. There they are. They're jumping out. There was question if there were 2 or 3 people inside that vehicle. Definitely looks like 2 people inside that vehicle making a run for it. Now, that vehicle's stolen. There was some talk earlier on if these were robbery suspects or just stolen vehicle suspects. They were talking about 1 person, possibly 2. I'm keeping the shot a little bit wide because I see both of them running. This one that I see right there is the passenger. Now, we know LAPD is going to be definitely going to be chasing the driver on this one. He's working his way now through these trees, pretty much working his way back to these streets out here. Not a smart move. That accident you just saw, I don't know if you're going to react or be able to recue that, happened so quickly. This guy working his way over that, working his way over that fence right there, working his way through that gore point, crashes into an unsuspecting person, spinning them out and throwing them down that back onto the 5 freeway. This suspect that we're watching here running across the street right now, I believe this is going to be on Los Feliz still. Basically, he just made a big circle there. This is going to be by the fountain, actually. If you know the area, the fountain is going to be in the top part of the shot. We're going to lose him here in these trees, definitely for sure. LAPD, California Highway Patrol, all here on scene. Take a look at the action that helicopter's doing right there. That's LAPD. That's one of the 3 helicopters that are over this pursuit right now. That one making super tight turns. They're keeping an eye on that person that ran into these trees. This pursuit coming to an end out here, Los Feliz, right off the 5 freeway, when that big truck basically runs up the off-ramp, crashes into an unsuspecting vehicle, sends that car sailing back onto the freeway. Not sure if those people are okay. I'm sure that the ambulance has been called for them. Right now, though, it's going to be a foot bail as 2 suspects jumped out of that truck, ran into these trees. We kept an eye on this one. The other one ran a different direction. They're going to have this area locked down for sure.
Yeah, right side of your screen right now, Stu, we're actually recuing that video and showing everybody that accident that happened just a few moments ago. It looked to me that he might have hit actually 2 vehicles, and the driver and a passenger now have foot bail. They're out running around. This is the Griffith Park area. I have to say, Stu, I'm pretty glad that they actually stopped and got out of this vehicle, because what a dangerous situation. We saw him flying down the freeway about 100 miles an hour.
You know, it definitely, for sure, it's awesome when they stop, you know, and it keeps the public safe. That vehicle, I'm sure they would have tried to keep on going. Just getting information right now that the driver of that vehicle in custody, and the person that the passengers in custody, and the person that we were following turned out to be the driver. The driver ran into some trees out over here right off of Los Feliz near the fountain area. We believe that's going to be right off of Griffith Park Boulevard. You can see this area right now. The helicopter's still above it. They're keeping an eye on these trees. We saw him run into those trees right now. Haven't seen any officers on the ground running, but right now that driver is going to be in this area right there. The passenger has been caught, that is for sure. And right now this pursuit coming to an end right at the Griffith Park area. We saw these guys running through the area. We saw some railroad tracks. We know that's right there by the trains.
In the Castaic area, Hasley Canyon at the southbound 5 freeway, the CHP getting reports of a stolen truck, and this quickly turned into a very high-speed pursuit. Southbound 5 crossing the 14 freeway, eventually making his way into Burbank, passing the 134 Zoo Drive, and into the Griffith Park area, which is where we saw this truck crash into several cars. And I believe, Sandra, maybe that impact did some damage to the truck, because they could have kept going, but they slowly made that turn, pulled over, and both jumped out of the van.
Yeah, they were really flying down the freeway, going about 100 miles per hour. And then when they got to the Los Feliz area, they ran into that heavy traffic, as you saw there on the 5 freeway. So it looked like they were just trying to get around the traffic, but they went over that ramp and then crashed into at least 1 vehicle. You're seeing these live pictures right now as police search for these suspects, and it looks like they might have gotten into a residential area. One of the suspects, the passenger, we believe, is in custody. Still searching for the driver, and again, they were wanted for stealing, possibly stealing a truck, and also might be robbery suspects. suspects. So we're going to keep Sky 9 overhead. We'll keep you updated as they search. But if you're in the area of Los Feliz, certainly you probably hear the helicopters overhead, a lot of commotion outside. There's the accident just as it happened,
Yeah, look at that car
right side of your screen.
Back up, yep.
And it just flew across that median, and those drivers had no idea what was going on. All right, let's go back up to Stu. Stu, does it look like they've got the second guy in custody now?
They definitely have that second guy in custody right there. We saw this guy basically just giving up, probably ran out of steam. LAPD, they're on scene. You can see that backup just arriving right now. That suspect saw that officer, basically got down on his knees, laid on his belly, taking him into custody right now. This is right off of Crystal Springs, as I'm being told. Right now, though, 2 suspects in custody after a dangerous pursuit. Probably injures 1 civilian at least. Glad that it ended just with those numbers. Right now, though, the truck disabled on Los Feliz. Both suspects in custody. LAPD just taking that last person, the driver, in custody.
Yeah, well, we don't know, Sandra, whether or not it was robbery of the vehicle or in the back, the bed of the truck. It looks like 2 air compressors, looks like some construction equipment, so that could also factor into this investigation. But you can see there right on the streets of this neighborhood in Los Feliz, officers swarming the second suspect there and bringing him into custody. And you can see now as Stu zooms back in to the crash point, just the large distance that these suspects covered on foot once they had impact with those other vehicles, trying to get off the 5 freeway there and eventually abandoning the truck and running off. Here we have one of those cars that was hit when the truck went off the freeway. That car we saw in the video actually roll backwards and into the lanes of traffic back onto the 5 freeway.
Yeah,
so
looks like it's spun them
as you were
completely
saying, Sandra,
around.
we're going to see it happening again here. Watch the lower right side of your screen. You're going to see it happen once this truck makes impact. You're going to see it right there. See how the car goes right backwards and right into traffic.
Yeah, just spun around now facing the wrong way on the 5 freeway there. And it looked like the person that was actually driving that vehicle might be out of the car, so perhaps they weren't injured. But boy, it sure looked like a bad accident. When you've got a big vehicle like that dually truck slamming into you, and you don't expect it, and it looks like maybe 2 people out of that vehicle now. So we do expect that an ambulance will be pulling up soon. CHP was in pursuit. LAPD now on the scene. The 2 suspects, the passenger and the driver of that white truck, in custody.
This was a pursuit that started in Castaic, made its way all the way into the Griffith Park area. Right now, we are glad to say the 2 suspects in custody. The concern now for rescue crews and police also will be checking in on some of these victims that were caught basically in the middle of this pursuit.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to cause some traffic problems on the 5 southbound in the Los Feliz area as well. So we'll have the very latest on this coming up on our KCAL 9 News at 4 o'clock. Until then, we'll send you back to your regular programming.